Steven Universe was a very special show that was filled to the brim with some of the wildest and most complex mysteries that has ever been featured on a cartoon aimed at kids.
Oh my gosh! I can't believe you're a fusion all the time!
Seriously, I mean, the writers made sure to carefully place a ton of clues leading up to the finale of season 1 that could have easily helped us solve a big Garnet reveal during the very first episode when you actually think about it.
So I'm supposed to work really hard and not try it all at the same time?
Yes. Or...
Why do you have 2 gemstones there, Square Mom? I thought all of the space rocks on this show were supposed to have 1 gemstone. Now I'm just speedballing here, but are you by any chance 2 space rocks mashed together?
Is water just hydrogen and oxygen mashed together?
The condition and placement of Bismuth's gemstone inside of Lion's mane would also get revealed to us during the season 1 episode titled Lion Free Straight to Video. Before our girl would eventually manage to break out of her prison as a result of someone's horrible mistake.
I made a horrible mistake!
Or is it?
Then there's the famous or infamous, depending on who you're asking, Rose Quartz / Pink Diamond reveal. She surprisingly became one of my favorite characters on the entire show well after it ended. Yeah, the 25-year-old brain patch is real and it does wonders, let me tell you.
You know, I'm starting to think.
Despite all of Steven Universe's downright iconic selection of revelations,
Mom was Pink Diamond.
based on the statement that Rebecca Sugar and Ian Jones Quartz left to promote Lords of the Stars, even though it seems really hard to believe, there are still a ton of big mysteries that were set up throughout the original series that haven't actually been solved yet.
I mean, you could be Steven or Nora or anyone else. And you can always change your name. Hey, I did.
He's out of line, but he's right.
I mean, I was only yesterday years old when I managed to notice that the gemstone silhouette of Rose Quartz's alter ego has actually been printed onto the faces of every single dollar bill within this universe.
How did I never see this before? I know what the diamond means.
Not only was this detail another great form of subtle foreshadowing done by the Crewniverse alluding to the truth behind Rose Quartz,
She faked her own shattering and reformed to be Rose all the time.
but this very intentional design choice that has existed since the inception of the show also kind of gave me the evidence that I've been missing that led me to solving one of the oldest and biggest unsolved mysteries in Steven Universe history. Being the canonical reason for why humanity never chose to intervene during any of the gem-related hijinks that went down over the course of the series, except for that one time.
I found a phone.
Whose is it?
That's not important.
Remember that one episode from season 4 that would have been a million times better if our boy Steven wasn't in it?
Here's a bonus treat. We already know that diamonds are the hardest substance on the planet.
Well, based on this episode, we learned about the troubling priorities of a police force as an organization in this timeline. Check this out. Destroying private property? No problem. Damaging a motel room? Pff, what family hasn't? Withholding the planet's entire ocean and then releasing all of that raw pressure back into the ecosystem? Causing irreparable amounts of damage to all sea vessels and marine life? Nothing to see here. Running a red light? Well, that's just diabolical. You better catch those criminals before they drive off into outer space. Before we go any deeper into the speculative aspect of this video, it's definitely worth keeping in mind that Steven Universe was confirmed to have been set within an alternate timeline by the writers themselves. Rebecca Sugar confirmed that the world of Steven Universe in itself was set in an alternate timeline, something that I didn't fully process until recently. Yeah, and based on the design of their money, one of the key differences between their timeline and ours must have been the fact that Pink Diamond was shockingly much more involved with the development of human civilization than we thought.
Look!
This feels familiar.
In addition to Pink's gemstone showing up on all of the money within this universe, her palanquin was suspiciously the only known gem-related place on the planet that has actively been quarantined by humanity.
Help me jump the fence. Oh boy.
Seriously though, the humans living in this timeline are going to hang up a bunch of warning signs while fencing off a random abandoned palanquin from the general public, but at the same time they're going to completely ignore the boatloads of actually dangerous gem-related locations scattered across the earth.
Here, look. So here's a map of all structures that were originally built on Earth.
Now, I'm not a big conspiracy guy or anything. I'm actually a big conspiracy bird. But this entire situation centered around Pink Diamond is beyond suspicious, right? It's almost like the governments of the Earth in this timeline were working really hard to keep humanity away from Pink Diamond's most secret locations, while also somehow finding convoluted ways of celebrating her very existence.
Well, if she wanted to protect it, she did a lousy job. There'd be no cluster if the Earth had stayed a colony.
I mean, it feels like some kind of massive cover-up.
No, I'm talking about the crystal gems.
Why?
Well, I'm covering the story.
Cover up? What cover up?
But Mayor...
Security!
Rising tides, crashing skies always seemed like a fairly tame and skippable episode when I first watched it, and I'm sure that most of you could probably relate to that.
My name is,
You are welcome to keep it to yourself, because I don't care.
But after rewatching it, I'm almost 100% convinced that this episode gave us one of the biggest revelations in Steven Universe history, and that's saying a lot.
Wait, so the hand wasn't here to snatch up humans for a human zoo?
You what?
Ronaldo, like most of us, chose to spend the majority of his time online, and because of this, the guy would constantly latch onto some of the most outlandish conspiracy theories surrounding the existence of the gems.
Polymorphic sentient rocks!
Except for the fact that nearly half of Ronaldo's theories would shockingly get confirmed to have been completely right.
They're here to hollow out the Earth! It's part of the Great Diamond Authority!
And I believe that this is because they weren't ever supposed to be viewed as being theories at all, but instead highly classified leaks.
But wait! There's more!
Humanity made the decision to quarantine Pink Diamond's palanquin in Korea over all of the other incredibly dangerous gem-related locations on the Earth, like the Prime and Beta kindergartens, because they must have been told the truth behind this place from someone who would have that kind of sensitive information. The truth being that a big blue woman from space and potentially also a big yellow woman from space would frequently show up to grieve a presumably shattered friend, and had an even bigger human zoo in space that was fully stocked and ready to go for any unsuspecting visitors.
But there was a... No, it couldn't possibly still exist.
Back when Rose Quartz was still active, it's very possible that she could have worked with the governments of Earth by telling them the truth about her past, which naturally led to them entrusting her with the daunting task of defending the planet from every future gem-related threat on her own. Ronaldo was right about the fact that most of the gems in this timeline would be born on a planet named Homeworld. He was right about the human zoo still being active in the present, and he was even right about this.
They're adding mind-controlling minerals to our water supply. They hate men?
Well, he was. There are no male-identifying gems besides Steven after all. Steven Universe was a very mysterious show that was filled to the brim with some of the purest and most impactful moments that has ever been featured on a cartoon aimed at kids. And I'm very excited to be able to theorize about the future of this series with you.